Greetings, my fellow meme consumers. I've just seen Rules of the Game, directed by Jean Renoir, released in 1939, I believe. And I'm very pleased with this film. I watched this based on it being on the Sight and Sound's poll of greatest films of all time, and I just decided to start watching all of those films. And this was the first one that I hadn't seen before that I decided to watch. Because I've seen Citizen Kane, Vertigo's behind me, I don't think you can see it, and both Godfathers are on the list. And so I decided I'm just going to start watching the rest of them, because I've seen a few other ones, but I don't know, I don't remember it all. I have it up. And Rules of the Game was in the top 5, I'm pretty sure, so I'm like, oh, I'll just watch that. So I did, and I'm very happy, and I really like this film. I can't really talk about why it's considered to be the greatest film of all time, because for me, I don't want to give too much context to a film. Whatever I'm trying to do is just recommend a film. And so I didn't look anything up about the film. I just wanted to go in without any expectations apart from it being on the Sight and Sounds poll. And because whenever I go to film, part of the enjoyment of film is just finding out what the film is. Like plot-wise, quality-wise, everything. Just finding out, is this a good film, a great film? What's it about? It's just so interesting to me. Like, that's part of the joy of films. That's why I don't go too much into plot or any detail in this film. And I know I mentioned it being on Sight and Sound poll, which is technically context, but I feel like that's important to share why I reviewed this film. So without any further ado, I'm going to go into just my personal reaction to this film. Context-free, I guess you would call it that, for me personally, not for you. Obviously, this is going to be some context. You had to watch this film based on my recommendation. So, Rules of the Game is sort of like a comedy, drama, tragedy. Like, there's like a word for that, like tragedy, I don't know what it's called. There's a word for that. But, it's something like my English professor once said that, tragedy would be comedy if no one died in it. And I'm not going to say who died, and I know that's kind of a spoiler, but I do feel the need to tell you that it's mostly comedic, because it's a film about relationships. But through those relationships explored, it kind of also looks at like this upper class lifestyle and kind of is mocking towards that. And there's like a little thing at the beginning, like disclaimer saying, this isn't meant to say anything, this is just a bunch of fictional characters. Like, sure it is. Like, I'm pretty sure this film got in trouble or something. I like I said, I didn't look up much, I just kind of saw a brief thing saying that. But, yeah, it's like I said, comedic at times, and that's like the biggest thing I got out of it. Like, there's a lot of like long takes, like not long shots like framing wise, but like the length of the shots, they go on for a while, and it's just kind of them going around this room. I don't remember what it's called, like a mansion or a chateau or something like that, but it's just them like walking around, and like there's just like 50 things going on at once, and it's just so funny like watching everything kind of fall apart, because this film is kind of you watching this general decline of there's things happening, relationships mostly, and just kind of the drama from that, but also some of the comedic aspects. But then the end of the film kind of is like this bit of dramatic reflection, and that's where the tragedy comes in, looking back like wow, like this is kind of their lives, and this is all that they have. And so that's it on a plot level. That's all I'm going to say, and I kind of probably shouldn't have said that much, but I mean, you watched my review. So like I said, for me, what I like to look at is presentation. Like I said, the presentation is very unique. There's a lot of there's these lengthy takes that move around places, and just the framing, there's like 20 things going on. It's kind of similar to Playtime, sort of, not really, because Playtime is way more ambitious than this film is, but this film came out like 30 years before. Yeah, almost 30, roughly 30 years before. And so for it being like that early on, it's a very impressive film. Like, it opens with a guy landing a plane, and like that whole scene was really great. Like, there's all these like scenes that are just really well done and very well shot and framed. And I also liked how the director, Jean Renoir, played Octave. I don't know how you say his name in like the French pronunciation. They said it a few times, but I just saw the subtitle Octave, so I'm just gonna call him Octave. I don't know if that's how they pronounced it, but how he plays Octave, who kind of inadvertently like sets the plot into motion by convincing them to invite the main character to these people's home. I'm not good with character names, and they're all French too. I remember Christine, Genevieve, Schumacher, the rich guy. Yeah, but and all these characters, like, interactions, once you, because the rich guy and the pilot guy are very similar looking, so sometimes I got like who is who and I got confused in that way. But it's very interesting just watching these relationships kind of develop and build and fall apart, and more relationships like interconnecting love triangles, and just, it's very complicated. And the writing is the best part of this film, I would say. Just the plot is incredible, which is why I keep talking about that and normally don't, because this is a very plot film. Like the writing is good too, but I feel like the writing is what I'm going to take away from this film. Kind of like His Girl Friday. It's pretty much just like a film stage play. Like there's not much in the directing, but like the writing, because it was based off of a play, like that was very unique. And this film is sort of like that in some ways. It's like that, but it's like if 20 His Girl Fridays were going on at the same time, and it had nothing to do with newspapers, just upper class people. So yeah, without, again, going too much into plot details, I'm gonna give this film an A. I would definitely recommend it. I would tell you to check it out. I really think you should. And yeah, bye, I guess.